Hi, welcome to Nichecraft. My name is Kassi and I'm your host, and today is Mystery Box Monday, which is one of my favorite days, and I hope it's one of yours because I've got something really cool for you guys this week. So KnitCrate sometimes has these mystery boxes that they sell, and usually, or up until, I don't know, at least over the past maybe year and a half or so, they've only offered the mystery boxes that are like A, B, and C, and they all have 6 skeins in them or 6 hanks in them, and then you pay a certain amount for them, and that's that, and it's cool because you get a really great deal and all of that. Well, KnitCrate recently put out a 10 hank bundle, and it came in 4 different kinds, and they were arranged by weight. So there was fingering, DK, worsted, and Aran and up. Okay, so what I got in the mail is the fingering, DK, and worsted weights. Okay, so I have 30 skeins, okay, or 30 hanks that came from these 3 10 hank mystery boxes. Now I also got the Aran and up. I got 2 of those, but that hasn't come in the mail yet because I ordered that later. But these I have 30 hanks here that I want to show you, and it's really cool. As far as the pricing goes, I believe that these were priced at, okay, it was priced at $130 each. And it didn't go down in price if you were a member. But they did send out a code, and the code was bundles, okay? BUNDLES. And if you put that in, it would take a certain percentage off that was a large percentage. It was like 40 to 50%. So I ended up getting 30 skeins for, when it all totaled up, it was something like $200, and that was including shipping and all of that. So pretty good value. Each one of these boxes of 10 were valued at $300 if you purchase them just from their store, regular price. So pretty good value, and I'm about to show you all of the great yarn that I got. I'm sure you guys are ready. So I wanted to let you know that they are all mixed up in the box, okay? And I tried to arrange them so that I would be able to go through it more quickly, but I just wanted to say up front, this might be a longer one of my mystery box videos, and it's just because I want to tell you everything I can about these different yarns, okay? That said, I am going to start over here with these chain spun yarns. This is called Vitilana Ascendance, and I have it in this blue, but I also got it in what's called fatigue green, okay? And it's kind of like a camo green, I suppose. And I got it in this white, okay? And this is called Limestone. And then I got another one in blue. Okay, so let me tell you about these, and I will just go ahead and show it a little bit up close, each color and how that chain spun looks. Okay, they say it is a sport weight. That's interesting. I don't know if I would call it a sport weight, but here is what that looks like. Okay, and for the Limestone, I mean, it's gonna look probably about the same, but just so you see that chain, when I say it's a chain spun, it almost looks like it's a chain link fence, something like that, rather than just like one strand. Okay, so it's, you know, or several strands kind of braided together. It's this chain spun, so it's very lightweight. It's good for the in-between months of like spring and fall, because you can both get warmth out of it, but because it's chain spun, it allows for more air, so it's more breathable and it's more lightweight that way. And you know what's weird is that it's good for all seasons, really, but it's ideal, I think, for the spring and summer. So I'm just going to read to you from this. It's called Limestone again. So yeah, it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool, sport rate, like I said. 328 yards or 300 meters, 100 grams, of course. Hand wash gently, dry flat. It was made in Peru, and this recommends a USE through K hook, and see, that's where I was like, sport weight, really. Because, you know, typically a K hook will even go with like a 5-weight yarn, you know. So what's kind of cool about this chain spun is that it ends up feeling thicker than it actually is, in some cases. So I just think that that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so I got, like I said, a white one, 2 blue ones, and at least 1 green one. I might have more. I can't remember if I had more than just these, but if I do, we will find out, because there's basically a box in front of me, and it's just got a whole bunch of hanks of yarn, so we will find out. So we have Knitology. I love the way that's like written in all of those like kind of cool letters. I really like that lettering. So this is called Knitology Happy Little Sock. Again, this is made in Peru. All Knitology yarns are made exclusively for KnitCrate, so I think it's like their brand. This is very, I wanted to say, this is very springy and like squishy, like, but springy as well. This is just squishy. It's like plush, and it has a lot of give, like almost like memory foam, but not as hard as memory foam. It's just, it has a lot of, it's got a squishy feeling to it. Yeah. So anyway, this colorway is Every Tree Needs a Friend. It's 70% superwash merino, 20% tencel, and 10% nylon. So if you see a little bit of sparkle in that, that's that tencel. And I see it. It's just, you kind of have to be in person. I don't see how this could really translate through the camera so much, but it is a very, very pretty combination. It's like a cinnamon color, cinnamon or nutmeg, and it is very thin, like it says. Let's see, fingering, yeah, definitely. 400 yards are 365 meters. And this suggests a US B through E, which makes sense, definitely. But this is definitely something that would make some really comfy socks. I actually think it's a really beautiful fall color. So we've got that. Moving along, here's another really thin weight yarn. I love this color. It's called Misty Dawn. And this is called Vitilana Silhouette. And I would recommend, if you want a really thin weight yarn, like a lace weight, probably fingering weight, I would really highly recommend trying the Vitilana Silhouette, because they have this one, which is in Misty Dawn's very pale pink, right? And then they have one it's something to do with the moon. And it's this really pale but pearlescent, almost gray. It is so gorgeous. And then they have another one. I can't remember what that one's called. It might be like something like Twilight or Dusk or something like that. I mean, these colors are just so, the sheen on them is so nice, and I can see a little bit of sparkle even. So the way that these end up working up is so gorgeous. I highly, highly recommend, if you work with fingering weights, that is. So this is 50% superwash merino wool. That means you can wash it. And 50% tencel. Yeah, that tencel is what's going to give it that glow. And yes, they all glow. Like that. And I don't mean like they glow in the dark. I just mean they've got this kind of, not an aura in the like fuzzy sense, but an aura like it just kind of, it's kind of sparkly without it having like those metallic glittery things inside of it. So yeah, it's hand washed gently, lay flat to dry. So yeah. So yeah, and it's also, I mean, most of these are going to be handmade in Peru, or custom made in Peru. So it is, again, B through E. This is just beautiful. I actually, even though I don't like, I know that it's probably very like ambitious for me to say this, but I actually want to make like a sweater out of this. It's just so nice and fine. Might be something that I should knit instead of crochet, but I kind of prefer to crochet. But anyway, so I've told you guys about this one before. I was really happy to get get this in the mail, in this order. And if I hold it up, you can probably see that there's not just yellow, but it's also like white, right? And this comes from a line called Vitilana Lofty DK, and it was supposed to kind of represent watercolors. Now this has like a rose color as well, and also a light blue if you look on KnitCrate for this specifically. But I absolutely loved this daffodil color, and that's what this is called. I happen to have a lot of hanks of this because I wanted to make a sweater out of it. I haven't figured out what kind of sweater I want to make because I do want to share it with the channel when I do. But, oh, I can't wait. Yellow's one of my favorite colors. I don't mind it a little like more like this, but I like it more pale typically. But yellow, I love yellow. So daffodil, we've got 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, 32% organic Pima cotton, and it is a DK weight, 274 yards or 250 meters. Hand wash gently, lay flat to dry. Very, very nice. Recommends about an I or 9 hook, which is also a 5.5 millimeter hook. I would say that that's accurate. Yeah, definitely. It's really nice. Let me go ahead and show you. It is chain spun. So hopefully you can see that it's chain spun a little bit. Trying to make sure you can see that real well. But I really like it. It has a lot. It's springy, but it's a little bit more dense than say this is. And you can even just eyeball it and see. You know, this is supposed to be a sport weight, which is thinner, right? And this one is a DK weight. So it's kind of interesting how that chain spun, like the chain is almost bigger on this one, but it's more dense on this one. It's interesting, I think, to compare. And since they're both Vitilana, you know they're using the same kind of gauge. So, speaking of chain spun yarn, we've got a lot of them in here. This might be the last one though. We've got Tendril. This is another Vitilana one, but this one's called Trellis. They have a really pretty purple one in this in this line as well. And it is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It is a fingering weight, which is interesting. 400 yards, 365 meters. Again, we have that chain spun there though. So it's a lot more springy and all of that. I think Trellis is a really great name for this. And just to kind of show you the difference in the colors, okay? So like they're very, very, very similar, right? But this one's just a little bit more grassy, and this one's a little bit more like camo. I'm trying to hold them. There we go. Yeah. So it looks very similar, but they are different. This is Tendril, and this is, I'm sorry, this is the Vitilana Trellis in Tendril, and this is Vitilana Ascendance in Fatigue green. So you can see the difference in those colors. This is like almost more like a jungle green. So there we go. Well, how about this one? Knitology Wisp. Okay, this is in clay pot. This is a nice, what's it called? It's a DK weight, 100% merino wool, 236 yards or 215 meters. It's like, somebody's got to tell me what this, what to call this kind of yarn, but it's like the kind where it's like twisted around like that. And so it has a little bit of texture. It's very soft and nice. It's a really nice like salmon color maybe. No, it's more orange than pink. So yeah, salmon. So yeah, it's a really pretty color. It seems to me like it's supposed to go with one of these, but no, I don't have another Knitology Wisp, at least not yet. So yeah, I was admiring this one just to kind of compare the labels. So this is Knitology in this one, and then this is the way that they display it in this one. So they have the different fonts for different styles. I'm going to put the Knitology on this side. Oh, this one's nice. Now I have a couple of these that I've showed you before. Let me go ahead and get out the two that I got. So this is Audiene Wool's Harmony. And I had put some of these in my back to school giveaway because they remind me of different pants colors or jeans colors that I would get when I was younger. These colors were in style back then, just so you know. So this one's called Rhythm and Blues, and this one's called Jazz. And so, yeah, they're all named after different kinds of music styles. And they both have the same stats. They're 150 yards. It's a worsted weight. 41%, well, 26% alpaca, 23% tencel, and 10% baby camel. And you heard me right, baby camel. Yeah, camels have that fur on them that they can use to make these beautiful yarns out of. It feels really nice. It's really nice without being scratchy. You can tell that it's an animal fiber. It's a protein fiber, but it's not so scratchy the way that wool can be. So it feels really, really nice. It would be really, really fun to work with. So moving along, here are some other Audiene wools, and this one is in Chill, but we have two different colors. So in this one, this brown color is called A Little Cabinectomy. It's really, really pretty dark brown. I love it. I love this color. I love dark brown on me. And then this one is called Beauty is Everywhere, and it is a more plum color. It's a very, very deep, dark plummy purple. Almost like looks brown when you're not in the light. All right, just want to hold that a little bit closer, show you the, it's got a little bit of a halo. I'll show you the weight here, and they call that a worsted weight, 150 yards, 137 meters, and it's, did I say this? No, I didn't. I couldn't have said this because, yeah, it's 90% Surrey alpaca, 10% cashmere. So it's got this kind of sleek feel to it as well. So it recommends a US size I to K. So this is going to be considered a 4 weight. And again, we've got two different colors of that. So it's very pretty. All right, so I see another chain spun, so let's look at this. Okay, so this is Audiene Wool's Bloom, and this is a really, really large yarn. If you like, I mean, it's a big weight yarn. It feels like a 5 when I work with it, which is kind of funny because it says it's a DK weight. It's kind of, I think I'm not a very good judge of chain spun yarn. Because it's like I always want to account for all of that air inside of it, you know? But it's really like, you know, when you press it together, like that's actually the weight, you know? So I see that loft and that kind of fluff that all that air has, and I want to count that as well. So anyway, this is 80% alpaca wool, 10% silk, 10% camel, and again, it's a DK weight, 231 yards, 211 meters. This is called nasturtium, and I know that that's a kind of flower just because their other blooms are kinds of flowers. So I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, it's really, I mean, I can't explain just how springy it is and how much extra space that allows for this to really become work like it's a much thicker weight. I really hope that that's conveyed, because it's like, I'm just trying to think, like, where's another DK weight here? Well, like here's a DK weight chain spun. Here's another DK weight chain spun. So I'm going to put my finger underneath this one. Here, put my finger under this one. Can you tell I do this live? Yeah, so you can see that even though they're both DK, you can see that they're a little bit different, you know, in that size. It's just really interesting, I think. Okay, so what else do we have here? Oh, we've got another limestone. This was one of the first ones that I showed you. So yeah, we've got another limestone from Vitilana Ascendance, another chain spun. Like I said, there's a lot of chain spun in here. What do we have? What do we have here? Knitology Wisp. Okay, I had told you that there was a Knitology Wisp somewhere around here, right? Oh, it was this one. Knitology Wisp. Okay, so we had this in clay pot. This is in Rainfall. It's interesting because it's in Rainfall, but it's this really dark purple. And again, when I see dark purple on my screen, for some reason it doesn't look as dark as it's supposed to be to my eyes. But then when I go back and I watch the video, it looks right. So I'm just gonna trust that this looks true to color. It's very dark, very like royal purple. Very, very nice. I really like it. It's very squishy. It feels very soft. And this has the same stats as that one, but just in case, it's just 100% merino wool, DK weight, 236 yards. And it's got that kind of twist in it. So it's not a chain spun at all. So we got that. Oh, look, we have another Vitilana Ascendance in fatigue green. So I ended up with 2 of these. All right. So I got that. I'm so sorry I'm not as organized as usual. It just kind of is all in, I mean, it's all in the same box, obviously. Okay, so these go together. So these are Audiene Wool's Flannel. It has a very, very slight boucle. I mean, it's so slight that I don't even want to say it, that it's really boucle. But it has a little bit of bumpies in it. Now, some of you guys might have seen the sweater I made my son with this. And in fact, I used both of these colors to make a sweater for my son. This is called Buffalo, and this one's called Slate. Buffalo is a very, it's a very nice, like, it's like a cranberry. Cranberry red, and then this is like a charcoal gray. It's not exactly black. It's not exactly black, but it's definitely not, I mean, I wouldn't call it a light gray at all. I wouldn't call it gray. It's like a charcoal gray. Slate and Buffalo. I ended up with 2 skeins, or 2 hanks of the Buffalo, and 1 of this Slate. Now, if you have a wool allergy, I mean, obviously, if you have a wool allergy, I would suggest you stay away from a lot of this stuff anyway. But I do know that this stuff will definitely set off your wool allergy. This is 47% Surrey alpaca, 38% alpaca wool. Now, it's not the alpaca, I don't think, that's a problem. I think it's the merino wool that's a problem. It might be in reverse. You know what? Don't listen to me. Just know that, you know, there's something in here that will set that off. And each one of these is 231 yards or 211 meters. It's a DK weight. I would say that it does work up like a DK weight, definitely. So it's a good solid, a good solid weight for. So we've got 3 of these here. All right. We've got some Vitilana Oasis. This is going to look familiar to a lot of you because I keep getting it. Vitilana Oasis in Nevada. So this is brown with like these kind of green specks in it. It's a really interesting color kind of way to do the colorway. Yeah. I'm not really certain how I feel about it too, because I like the specks in certain yarns, but in others I don't like them as much. Like in this one, I really don't like it as much, but that doesn't mean it's not nice. It's very, very soft. I would say as long as you're okay with those speckles, then this is definitely a great yarn to use. So, so again, this is called Vitilana Oasis. This is in Nevada. All of the Vitilana Oasis are named after different places. Like one time I had one, it was one of my first videos that I did, and it was Tucson, and I called it Tucson. And I didn't catch myself, like, wait a minute. I was just like reading it phonetically, you know, and yeah. Anyway, so this is 50% alpaca wool, 25% Peruvian Highland merino wool blend, 25% Surrey alpaca, DK weight 252 yards or 230 meters. It says to use up to an eye hook. I would say that feels about right. Again, it's absolutely wonderful, soft, not so scratchy. There's a little bit of scratch, but it's not so scratchy. It's a really, really great high-end yarn. I just don't personally like those kind of flecks in it as much. So, we still have more, guys. Okay. So, we've got this URU yarn in electric. These are very 80s colors. So anyway, this color is wired and this color is rave. And I have been collecting this color because I wanted to make a cardigan in this color, and I was thinking maybe for my daughter, but now I probably have enough to make one for myself and my daughter if I wanted to. So that's probably going to be a project that I'm going to have to like relook at it and see, like, do I really need all of this? Anyway, so we've got 40% Hayakaya alpaca, 30% wool, 30% Surrey alpaca. It's a worsted weight, 150 yards or 137 meters. US hook size I through K, so that's a solid 4. I would even say that this might be appropriate. No, it's a 4. I was gonna say it could almost work up like a 5 even, but no, this is a solid 4 weight. This is a good example of a 4 weight. Really beautiful, bright colors, which really oddly work up to end up looking not as in your face as you might think. It's really, really weird, and I think it's because of this other line here in it. So it's like we've got this bright pink, but then we've got this, it looks like it's black in this one, and it looks like it's navy blue in this one, although it could be the same color. But it ends up toning it down just enough to where it looks just, it doesn't look as bright when it's worked up. I mean, it's bright, but it doesn't look as bright. So anyway, these are great. I just really like them. Okay, so, gosh, I know somebody who would really like this. I might go ahead and send it to them. This is Vitilana Tweety Sheep in Apple Picking, and this is Tweety Sheep in Pumpkin Spiced Everything. Probably a leftover from last Halloween. Very Halloweeny colors, and it's 90% wool and 10% Donegal Neps, and it's an Aran weight, and it's nice. It's nice wool, a little bit on the scratchy side, but that's to be expected when something's 90% wool. Definitely would make a really fun autumn project, definitely. And I know somebody, I think I'm probably going to send it to them too. They actually got a hold of me and asked me if I had any, and I was like, sure, you know. And they suggested that they just get a mystery box and I'd put all of this in it and then give a little bit more, and that's how we did it. I might just go ahead and send this to that person. I wonder if she even watches my channel. If she does, she'll know. Otherwise, it'll be a surprise. So we've got that. Now this is an underrated Audiene Wools here. It's called Audiene Wool's Sleek. Now it comes in this color called Bliss, and I actually think it's a really cool name for this color. It's just a very blissful, bright, shiny orange. And then this one, again, Audiene Wool Sleek, comes in Unwind. So these colors really do go together, you know, real well. But this is just this bright, grassy green. It's so nice. It's one of those yarns that I want to have enough to work something up with it, but I never end up figuring out what that should be, and I end up putting it in mystery boxes instead. But just listen to the stats. 55% fine merino wool, 30% baby alpaca, 15% mulberry silk. Yeah. 220 yards or 100 grams. And it even says you can machine wash, gentle cycle, lay flat to dry. Very, very, very soft. You know, I say that about all of them. I would just so you know, this is the softest so far. This one right here, which is 50% superwash merino wool and 50% tinsel. This is just very, very soft. And I would say after that, probably these actually. I'm trying to, well, I like this one too. I might just prefer the fingering weights here. So this is superwash merino. So we figured out I like superwash merino apparently. But yeah, this is very, very soft too. But then again, hardly anything beats mulberry silk when you come to softness. So yeah, so we've got these two as well. And then I really wanted to try some of this out. I've never gotten this. It's called Saltillo, and it's Knitology Dewy. Now this came out in their knit and crochet sock kit 1 month somewhat recently, and I saw it and I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. I want to try one of those. In fact, you know what? I think I have a purple one, and it had pink and purple and this color, or maybe it was green and purple in this color. I don't remember. I just know that there is a purple one as well. So I lied. I actually do have some of this, but I really like this kind of variation in the skein here. I'm gonna open it up a little bit so that like some of, you know what? I'm gonna open up the whole thing. Just gonna open up. So skeins come in these big circles, and I love that it's like half orange and half white like that. That's so pretty to me. And obviously this would end up being a self-striping. So it is good for socks. And anyway, but the orange isn't, like the color is not all the same. So you see these places right here where it's lighter, and then you see these places where it's super saturated, and then this is not as saturated. So it ends up looking pretty cool. But yeah, so I have purple as well, but now I have an orange. I've made a promise to myself that I am going to finish socks sometime before December. So I don't know what I'm going to be using to make them, but yeah. So we have this one, and I just assumed that they'd be out of it. They had this in KnitCrates like about half a year ago, and I just figured they were out of it because I don't remember being able to purchase them on the site. But you know, they're paying, you know, they're paying their respect to Halloween, because this one's called Brains. It's 60% Hayakaya alpaca, 40% Surrey alpaca, DK weight, very, very soft. It's just really nice. You know, I've talked about Brains and yarn at the same time before, believe it or not, in one of my book reviews. And this actually is not the color of Brains that I think. Oh, this is not the color that I think of when I think of Brains, but that's cool. That's okay. I think a lot of people think of green when they think of Brains, and that's just fine. But it is a really pretty green, really pretty like leaf green. And just like this one, it's not fully saturated everywhere. And I don't know if that was a problem with the dye lot or if it was meant to be like that. But it's really, I mean, I really like it. It's really pretty. So that is all of my 30 skeins. So let's kind of go over them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, $29, $30. So that was really, really great variety of yarn for what I paid for it. I'm more than happy with what I got. I'm really happy with what I got. I really like it. There's a lot of chain spun yarn in here. So if any of you guys, when you're ordering mystery boxes from me, if you want a chain spun yarn, you might want to just go ahead and tell me that under the personalization, or just send me a message if you order one, if you want one of these chain spun yarns, because obviously I have enough to be able to fill many mystery boxes with them. So you might want to mention that, obviously only in the next maybe 10 boxes I'd be able to do that, but I'd still be able to do that. I did want to point to behind me. I posted this on my wall here. I'm going to move forward here. So that's just a solid granny square. And by that I mean it doesn't have the holes in between them. It's not the granny clusters, you know. So I had asked you guys, should this be a blanket or what? And there were some really great ideas you guys gave me. And somebody said a big pillow, you know. I thought that would be cool and everything. Well, I've decided that it's going to be a rug. And because I have this idea, I have a vision for what my living room's going to be as it gets transformed, because me and Greg are redoing our living room. And I've decided that this is going to be the rug that's over underneath the reading chair in the corner next to the bookshelf. So that's where it's going. That said, I hope you enjoy this video. I love Mystery Box Mondays. I know this is pretty long, but you know, hey, it was a really good one, I think. And if you like yarny content, you know, and you like this mystery box, I do mystery boxes every Monday. Go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, because seriously, I have a whole lot of giveaways, and I think I even have 2 up right now, and you're gonna want to enter those because they're pretty cool packages, and I have giveaways all the time. So if you hit the notification bell right next to subscribe, then you'll always know when I have a giveaway, and you'll always know when I have when I've drawn the winner, because I always draw a winner with the video. For those of you who are with me regularly, this week's going to be really fun. I'm going to do videotape myself dyeing some yarn. That's going to be cool. I'm also going to be showing you how to make the divine hat and how to size it for your size, because there's like the divine hat pattern that's out there. It's really nice and it's really pretty, but it doesn't necessarily fit all sizes. And I wanted to show you guys how you can custom that to your own head, so that it's not like kind of feels like a beret or feels like it's a little too tight. There's something you can do to help that along. So I want to show you guys that. And I'm going to be starting my cardigan tutorial. I'm going to do my cardigan tutorial very similarly to the way that I did the easiest the easiest sweater ever that I did, and that is I'm going to be posting smaller videos for a few days of each step, right? And then at the end I'm going to be posting the full video, and it's the full video that will end up staying up, but that doesn't mean that you can't follow along. The cardigan will take about as much yarn as the pullover sweater, and just so you know, the cardigan that I'm making doesn't have, I mean, I want it to be super simple and easy, so it does not have a very obvious way of adding buttons or anything like that. That doesn't mean you can't do that, but you've got to kind of figure that out on your own. What I'm doing is I'm just showing you how to do the basic how to make a cardigan. This, just like the other one, you're not going to need to sew unless you want to. But there are going to be 2 seams, and the seams are going to be joined together by crocheting. It's not going to be that hard at all, I promise. And you will be able to have another sweater under your belt, and you'll be able to customize it for whatever size you want. In fact, if you have the person available that you want to make it for, you could even take their measurements, because I'm going to show you how to take the measurements so that it fits you exactly. Okay, so I think that's really important. Some patterns don't, you know, they're like, well, you have to make a certain amount or whatever for each size. You know, this is going to be something where it doesn't matter what size you are, as long as you take your measurement, then you'll be good, because it's going to be the same for everybody. And how that works, I'll explain in that video. But I'm just really looking forward to it, because I got so much positive feedback from you guys about like, oh my gosh, I actually made a sweater and I actually like it and everything, and I love that. So this is going to be another one of those things where you're not going to believe how easy it is to actually make a cardigan, and it's like looks good. It's not just, you know, I mean, it might look handmade, you know, but it should look right in between handmade and something you bought in a store, okay? So it'll be nice. And so I just wanted to mention that I would suggest using a neutral color, something that would go with a lot of different outfits. If you need to purchase your yarn, I'm going to be using probably a 3-weight yarn, but the weight is not going to matter so much as just how to make it. So I would suggest getting a 4-weight yarn, just because it'll work up faster in a 4-weight. But get it in some kind of neutral color, like an off-white, gray, brown, just something that'll go with a lot of different items in your closet, because it is going to be made to go over, you know, and it'll be open in the front, but it'll be nice. Right? I've just talked myself up so much. I better deliver. My goodness. It's really great talking to you guys. Really looking forward to putting up a video every week, every day this week. Oh, also, my goodness, probably nobody has watched it this far to the end, except for you. You're the only one watching this video right now. How does that feel? No, I was just going to say, I did not put out the... I blanked on the word. What is it? Oh, I haven't put out the stitch for the Magic Memory Afghan. I was supposed to put it out last week, but you know what? I'm actually behind. So I decided, you know what? They probably wouldn't mind if I waited another week. So I'm going to be doing that on Thursday. Okay. So those of you who've been following the crochet along, I'm so good. We're going to put it out on Thursday, because I just had a whole bunch of stuff. My son had strep throat. And my daughter ended up getting so sick she couldn't go to school for 3 days last week, or 2 days last week. So I have had sick children, and now Greg's like, oh, I'm so sick. And he took his temperature and it was like 96 degrees, which maybe he is sick. I don't know, but he's so funny. He can't handle it when he's sick. He gets so cranky. He needs to be taken care of. But anyway, yeah, so I know, rambly me. Oh well, that's what you get. Take care. Bye for now. I will see you soon in another video, and it will probably be a dye video, and it'll be fun. And when I say dye, I mean like dyeing fabric a color, not in a weird serial killer way. All right. I will see you soon. Bye for now.